Greetings and salutations. My name is Tish, and welcome to the Artist Haven, where home plus art equals heart. In today's live video broadcast, it is Coffee with Tish, and you know what? I have an iced coffee here today that I made with my chocolate syrup. If you really want to go way back in my beginnings of my YouTube channel, I did some food videos because that is my other love, is art and food. So I made chocolate syrup from scratch. So I'll put a link to that so you guys can check that out. But you add it to your coffee, especially an iced coffee, and it's so good. But anyway, I've got, this is my second one, or no, this is my third one. So shh, don't judge me. So in today's live, we are going to be taking these ornaments that I found at the Dollar Tree, and we're going to be using some Dollar Tree products, and we're going to acrylic pour around them. So I'm going to show you how I prep these, and then next week when the paint has dried, we're going to embellish them. So I'll show you how I do different kinds of embellishments on these. So first things first is they come with a hole in them, so we need to fix that. But before we do that, you could leave it too, it's up to you, but I personally like the solid look. So but before we do that, let's say hello to the people in the chat, and if I skip over you, I apologize. I am using my old HTC M8, so scrolling is interesting. There's paint all over my phone. Shh, don't tell anybody. Good morning, Doris. Good morning, Cheryl. Hello, Virginia. Good morning, good morning. And Jeff B is here. Wonderful to see you. Awesome, awesome. And there's Miss Diane. Hello, Diane. Good to see you. Yes, Virginia, thank you. I am feeling better this morning. Still got a headache, still feeling kind of yucky, but definitely an improvement over yesterday. Yesterday was awful. But I've always been one of those that I'm stubborn and I work as much as I can through things. And today is a day that I can still work. I just got to take it kind of easy. So here I am. These I got, this was $1 for a package of 5, okay? We've got masking tape from the dollar store. Dude, oh yeah, it's underneath here. Hello, squish, squish, pudding head. This lightweight spackling joint compound, whatever you want to call it. You can use this. This is from the dollar store. You can use joint compound that you get at like Home Depot. If you really wanted to, you can use Bondo, but for something this thin and inexpensive, this would work. You can use a texture medium if you have that handy. You could even use PVA glue and some sawdust, like your own wood glue. You could use wood glue directly. You just want something that you can sand when you're all done, okay? So what I do is I take a little piece of tape and I put it on one side, maybe, if I can find the beginning. There we go. And what I usually do is I take a piece like this. I try to leave the end so I can find the end again. There we go. Sorry I bumped the camera. And then I'll just take a scissors, stick that off to the side, cut myself a little square here. Or it's more rectangle than square. Pick which side you want to be your upside, because some of these I've noticed have like little grooves in them from the wood being not planed correctly, which is fine. You're paying like 20 cents a piece for these. So then I just do that, and I just kind of leave it there, because what you're going to do is you're going to take a popsicle stick, or you could be fancy. Hang on, I got to grab a popsicle stick. There we go. So I've got a popsicle stick, or you can be fancy and use a putty knife. This is from the dollar store as well, Dollar Tree. Okay, so you're going to take your popsicle stick, your finger, whatever you want to use, and you're going to just start with a little bit and push it in. Push it in and push it in, push it in. And that's all you need to do. Just wipe off the excess. I usually take my finger and make sure it's pushed in all the way. And then just kind of clean it up. Maybe leave a little excess on there. We'll do that in a second on the other ones. Okay. So just push it in there and then you just let it dry. This stuff dries in like 20 minutes. So that's what I've been doing this morning, is filling in holes. That's what he said. Anyway, so we'll set that one off to the side since that's one of the wet ones. And let that dry. I usually go through the whole stack and put tape on the back of all of them. So I had 5 of them ready this morning. And then these are the ones that I just opened. And I'll go through and do those. Now just do them all, let them all dry. And then this one, I just did the one side. But if you need to, you take off your tape here. This is exterior paint. I had a piece left, so I just reused it. And you can reuse those pieces of tape too. But you want to make sure it's flush on either side. If it's not, then you just take your finger or your popsicle stick or whatever, and you just go over it again really lightly and make sure that it's flush. If you want to do this step, you don't have to do this step. And then after that's done, let it dry, and that'll dry really, really fast. But then after you're done, now you can see this is one that had kind of the crack there. And I filled it in with the putty. And if you notice you have some on the edge, just sand it off. And if you notice you have some kind of sharp edges, just when you get to this step, this is the step that gets a little messy because you are sanding. Okay, I'm going to cover this guy up because this stuff dries out. If you notice that it's dry, take your mister bottle and just mist it lightly, stir it, mist it lightly, stir it until it gets to the consistency that you want. And you want it to be a little bit dry. You don't want it to be like toothpaste because then it's going to take forever for it to dry. So, hold the shower. So you can use dollar store sandpaper, or what I'm going to be using today, move some of this stuff out of my way, this is a sanding block. These cost about $4, Home Depot, Menards. This is just a fine one. You can see I've used it for other projects. And then you just want to kind of lightly sand it. You don't want to go very hard. Okay, so you're just going to sand over it. And yes, you're going to make a little bit of dusty mess, not much. So if you want to do this outside or in your garage or wherever, I used to do it in my bathtub. When I was at the apartment, I used to sand in my bathtub because then I could just wash everything down with the shower, just rinse it all down. I know that sounds really weird, but when it was wintertime and too cold to go outside, my neighbors hated it because I used my orbital sander in my bathroom, so it echoed hardcore. So once you have all that, you just take a dry cloth and wipe it down, okay? And then you're going to take it outside or in a well-ventilated area, and you are going to, hang on, this one's done, so we're going to put that in a separate pile. What did I do with it? Oh yeah, here it is. You're going to take it outside and, let's see, let me grab said bottle. I use Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch Flat Black Primer. I use this for everything, for my furniture, for just everything. If I'm doing wood furniture, what I usually do is two coats of bin primer, and then if I'm going to be doing like a dark color, I will go over it with a black primer. If it's going to be a light color, I just use the bin, but this always helps the dark colors come out better. So, okay. Well, good morning, Johnny. I was actually thinking of you this morning. I need to call you. And Jelly Duck is here too. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining us. Anybody else I miss? Nope. Okay. So this is dry. I just spray painted this, I don't know, probably about a half hour ago. And I just spray painted both sides. If you want to, you could tape off the edge here use your dollar store tape and tape off the edge here, wrap it around so you only get paint on one side and you can leave the other side black. But what we're going to do today is we're going to just do a flip cup on one of these, and we're going to let it dry. And then next week I will show you doing the other side. I'll also show you how to embellish these and finish them. So this is kind of more of the prep work, and if you want to go to the dollar store today and get caught up to where I'm at, you're welcome to work along with me. And if you have any questions, feel free to message me. So another dollar store item, do I have one already down? No. Is these little shot cups. I get these in the party supply area of the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to put it right here. And I've got a very itchy nose this morning. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we're going to take, I've got gold, I've got brown, I've got red, orange, purple, and green. I kind of left these here. These are all metallic because I figured if you're going to use this, now there are different ways that you can use these, and we'll go over that next Thursday. So be sure to join us and you'll kind of get an idea of how these can be used. But for now, I think we're going to go with the brown and this gold and the red and the orange. So we're just going to layer this cup really quick. Come on, fingers. You know you want to work. Okay, so this is Shady Orange by Arteza. This is the Ruby Red metallic, I believe. No, this is the Ruby Red, I do believe. I didn't write down, I'm bad at that. This is that red. This is the gold from the Sargent's, and then this is the Sargent Iridescent Pearl mixing medium mixed with Winsor and Newton Van Dyke Brown. There we go. I knew it was coming to me. I don't, we're having this conversation, and I don't think there's any such thing as too much coffee. But right now, I'm kind of questioning my judgment on that. So I wanted to do a couple of lighter colors and a couple of darker colors. And since these are a little bit smaller than a coaster, we're going to do a little bit less than what I do for a coaster. So, well, let's just wipe it in the cup. There we go. I'm going to layer this in here. There is no silicone in any of these paints. So we'll see what kind of magic happens. If nothing happens, then nothing happens. I'm okay with that. Do a little orange. Let's do a little gold. A little brown. And a little red. Okay, and since we're doing a flip cup, I'm going to play around with the paint a little bit. I want to use that stick. Where did that stick go? I'm going to grab a little popsicle stick here. This is my bin of used sticks, and I reuse them until they get so encrusted with paint. I'm going to do a dip. I'm going to draw a line. And then I'm going to draw another line just to kind of help the colors mix together a little bit. I don't want to do too much. And then we're going to take this and we're going to flip it over, let it sit for a minute. So, are there any questions? Well, hello, Miss Clara. Good morning, good morning. I'm going to have a sip of coffee and go through chat here really quick. Clara's howdy, howdy. Oh, Clara, I was watching one of your videos And I sometimes watch with the sound turned down, so I turn on the captioning, and it said Howie Howie, like the man's name, and I just started giggling. It says Howie Howie, and I'm like, okay, it was funny. Sorry, I guess you had to be there. I'm having, that kind of a moment, I guess. So you can do any color scheme you want on here. I mean, if you want to do purples and blacks for, purple, black, and gold for more Halloween type thing, you could do that. Yeah, I would really think it'd be fun to do like really bright colors, like a neon orange and black and neon green, maybe bright red, and just do them really bold and really bright. So you could do that. It's pretty much any colors that you want to do. And then we're going to do this. We're going to open this up. And I'm kind of twisting the cup as I lift it up. Hopefully, there we go. And everybody, just letting you know, I will be dipping cabochons in the excess paint. So let me get a piece of plastic here to cover this, because I'm going to cover this cup because there's paint in there. And one of these days, I will show you what I do with leftover paint. I've done other ones too, but this is one that I've been having fun with since I came to Michael's house. All right, let's kind of move this around. That orange is kind of taking over, so let's get him off of there. Let's see if any of the other colors kind of come through. There we go. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, so I'm just going to take this and kind of do it that way. And we're going to move this way. I'm going to help this guy out a little bit. Here. Kind of interesting to try and do this. So guess what, guys? I found some press and seal. I was like on a mission to find press and seal, and really kind of frustrated. So I'll show you some neat tricks with press and seal. And I'm just going to kind of go through and get the edges of this bed, just so it has some consistency. And peek at the back. The back's kind of cool too, but I'm going to make sure I just kind of smudge that. So when we go to paint on the backs, it's got a smooth canvas. Okay. I'm going to wipe it off. So when I sit it down on the cup, it doesn't leave a circle. There we go. There is that. Get back. That orange kind of took over. Not so much orange. Set that down there. It's all very iridescent and awesome. Yeah, the shady orange is the iridescent paint from Prism. I'm going to pop in the air bubbles that we have since we did just stir it. But there you go. There is your first layer. Now, I'm going to set this to the side so I don't bump it. Now you have all of this awesome paint here, but it's like, well, what do I do with that? You could dip. You could do another little thing and dip it and swipe it, and I don't have luck with that. It's like PVA glue, school glue, all that glue stuff. That doesn't work for me. I just have the worst luck with that stuff. So I stay away from it. And same with same with dipping. But cabochons, now that's a different story. Let me show you what I do. Okay. And I'm going to do an experiment with this too. So this is just a chunk of 1x2 that I had. And this is modeling clay. And it stays pliable even after sitting out for days and weeks on end. So I make a little ball. And then I turn it into like a little cylinder looking thing. Okay. And I got these at the dollar store and I wanted to try it out. These are really big ones. I'm gonna try a different one because that one looks like it has a crack in it. Okay, so these are more dragon tears than cabochons. These are drop glass. So they just take molten glass and drop it onto a surface, and that's what happens. But I wanted to see what would happen if I did this. So you take the flat part, set it down to the table so the flat part is at the bottom of this. Okay, and then you take your modeling clay and you kind of smush it on there. This is actually a trick that I got from Elisa. I've made my own little adaptations, like putting it on a block, because I'm a klutz and I'll drop something into that. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to dip it in there. That, and then pull up. Now you're not going to be able to see the pattern that's on there until it dries. So I just kind of squish it. Sometimes they're level, sometimes they're not. And then you can do regular cabochons, which are more of a molded glass and they're more precise. Do the same thing, put it flat side down. And you can do this with resin, you can do it with acrylic paint. I'm going to try it with alcohol ink here at some point. Just because I'm silly that way. So yep, just roll in a ball, make a little cylinder, smush it on the top. Yeah, just make sure it's stable and it gives you a little bit something to hang on to. I'm going to do this little bit right here. And once you do these, you kind of get an idea of what areas are going to be a good spot to dip in and which ones aren't. So I'm going to put these aside and I'm going to show you a couple really quick of ones that I've already done. And I'll just show you. I'm making necklaces out of them. You can make keychains out of them, but that is like a little piece of wearable art. So there you go. And these aren't adhered yet, so let me show you the back. See, the back looks kind of bleh, but when you look at the front, check that out. And I get it on the edges of it. I just take a razor blade and just gently scrape it off, and then take some rubbing alcohol and clean it off. And then I use Gorilla epoxy, and I just press it in there. So, and so far it's worked really well for me. So, and you can just position it in there however you like, but I love these because they're like little pieces of art. So these will be available on the website shortly. I know I've been saying that for a while, but when you're not used to building websites and all the little bits behind the scenes that needs to happen, and I was having problems with the shipping calculator, I think I figured it out because I don't want to have you order one of these for $20 or whatever, and they charge you $50 in shipping. That would be ridiculous. So I've been playing with that. And so that is that. And we will revisit these too as well on next week's live. I will see what we can do with those. So I'm going to dip some more, but I'm going to let you guys go. So you guys can be on your way with your day. If you have any questions, well, hello, Angela. Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. If you have any questions and I didn't answer them here, leave them in the comments below or message me in our Facebook group. If you go to the Facebook page at The Artist Haven, smash the like button there and head over to the join group page. Answer the questions that we have graciously provided to keep out spam, and then just ask, because that's what the group is for. It's not only to share your art, but to ask questions. I always say the only dumb question you could ever ask is the one you don't ask. So thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you. Remember, be kind to one another. Peace, love, and happiness.